suck this year.
This is the Baseball Hour with Tony Maz.
Me!
Presented by Bigelow Tea, Jackson Lumber, Blue Moon Light, Wellesley Testosterone, FindMassMoney.com, Gem Plumbing, and by Golf. On Boston's home for sports, 98.5, the Sports Hub.
2 swung on and missed. Back to the curveball to get him. Kind of tugging at that back a little bit.
Yeah, don't love seeing that. Kind of over-rotated the way he was out front on that slow curveball a couple times in this at-bat. 72 and then 73 miles an hour. So it was a little tight. Be careful with that. They'll check him out.
Here's Bregman. Fly to center, fly to right, 0 for 2. Red Sox up 5-1. Obviously keeping an eye on Roman Anthony back inside the dugout. He went downstairs. He went down the tunnel.
Well, we don't need to keep an eye on Roman Anthony for a while. News comes out of Fenway Park today that Roman Anthony will be lost for 4 to 6 weeks, means he will not play in the balance of this regular season. And you just heard Jim Murray during his headline say that according to Pete Abraham of the Globe, Alex Cora was asked just a little while ago over Fenway Park, what did you tell Roman Anthony to cheer himself up? And Cora said, I told him to envision game 1 of the American League Championship Series. And if you're wondering why that is relevant, because game 1 is on Sunday, October 12th. That is where we'll begin tonight on the Baseball Hour. Jared Carrabis alongside, as he is most every Wednesday during the baseball season. Jared is presented by Blue Moon Light, a light and refreshing citrus wheat beer with only 95 calories, brewed with real tangerine peel for a subtle sweetness and smooth finish, just like
me.
Jared himself. That's right. Enjoy Blue Moon Light today. Feels like a proper day to have you here, Jared. We can do a wellness check. Make sure you're doing okay after your whoopee. Roman Anthony had an oblique strain last night, forced him out of the game. Again, lost for 4 to 6 weeks. Your thoughts?
I knew it was bad when I didn't get my weekly text from Tony to be like, hey, what's on your mind? What do you want to talk tonight? It's like, all right, I know where we're going to start. It has to be Roman Anthony. I got the text. We were recording Baseball is Dead this morning. I got the text because I tweeted out this morning, I'm worried about Roman. And then I had someone take that tweet, text it to me, and said, you should be worried. And I said, how long are we looking at? 4 to 6 weeks. About 3 hours later, 4 to 6 weeks. I think... I heard you're a negative Nancy. I know that about you, Tony.
Yes.
I heard you on the Felger and Maz program say, well, it's more like 6 to 8 weeks. Like, no, it's 4 to 6, and it might be 4. He's 21 years old.
Correct.
You know, me and Kevin Majori were back there, and we were looking it up. It's because it's a grade 2. It's a grade 2 strain. So that, yeah, we're looking at 4 to 6 weeks, but it's going to be on the lower end. Also, I do want to shout out the Red Sox medical staff because Alex Bregman, who's, 32? He came back, 3-4 weeks before he was supposed to from a grade 4 quad strain or whatever it was.
Yep.
So I'm not going to promise you anything. I'm not going to guarantee anything, but I'm going to try my best to remain optimistic that Roman Anthony comes back on the sooner part of the spectrum from this injury.
Okay, so this is where we're going to begin tonight. Those of you who want to call in, you know the number, 617-779-0985. Here on the Baseball Hour. We got a lot to get to because the Red Sox are still winning games. They won one last night. But, Jared, I said this earlier, and I do believe it, that last night's victory, first of all, felt like a loss. And I think based on some of the sound that we heard coming out of the clubhouse, I think the players felt like it was almost a loss. Alex Bregman sounded down. Roman Anthony sounded down. Garrett Crochet did not pitch well. And I myself went to sleep and woke up today saying, suddenly feel like their season is coming apart. Like Crochet looks like he's kind of, what's the right word, lilting a little bit at the end of the season. Now they've lost Anthony, so they may have lost their best pitcher and their best offensive player on the same night. And when I say lost him, obviously Crochet is going to continue to pitch. But he hasn't looked the same now for a little while. I would say the last 2 or 3 starts, he is not.
One bad start, Tony.
Well, the one before this one, Jared, he did not look great.
So I went back
know
and
the
looked.
results were good. He didn't look great.
I knew that this was going to come up, so I went back and looked. On June 30th, he had a start against the Cincinnati Reds where I think he gave up 5 earned. It was like 9 hits, only 1 home run. But I went back and looked at the Red Sox starters since June 30th. He's given up the most home runs. It's the highest opponent OPS between him and Bayo and Giolito. So it's more of a home run problem than anything else. But if you were watching last night's start, and I think we had this conversation about Greg Weissert when he started going the other way. It's when guys get tired, it's not that they lose velocity, they lose their ability to control
Location.
And if you watched Crochet start last night, middle. There was a lot left over the plate, and he gave up 4 home runs first time, or tied a career high for most home runs that he's ever allowed. Yeah, I think there might be something to the fact that he's getting tired. But that's, I mean, did we not maybe expect to
Of course you did.
Sure.
Yeah, look, I'm not telling you it's the end of the world. I'm just telling you that there was and look, Jared, this opens up a bigger discussion, which I'm happy to get into if people want to do that. Felger touched on it today, and I think there's a lot of truth to it. These guys aren't trained to pitch 225 innings anymore. None of them are. So Crochet, like we had a caller today that said, look at Crochet. He's 6'5". He's 240 pounds. How is it that this guy doesn't have durability? And it's not because of his body. It's because he's not. Now, in his case, there are other factors. He was a reliever for his entire professional career up until a year ago. They then turned him into a starter. And the White Sox, after he, pitched 100 and whatever innings, basically held him to 4 innings a start for the last 2 months of the season. So, they put a cap on him, and the Red Sox knew this was the reality going in. He's just under 180 innings now. So nobody is built to go 215, 220 anymore.
Well, he leads the league in innings.
He does. And there are only a handful of guys now in any given season who get to 200. There really aren't that many who do it anymore. So let me ask you this. How would you manage Crochet? And the reason I ask this is because I think the Red Sox are in sort of a unique spot now. You've got 22 games to go. You have a shot at the division. You have a shot at the top wild card spot. And you are 6 up on the closest team that's out of the playoffs. Okay, meaning Kansas City is the 4th wild card team. They're out. And you have a 6-game lead. So the Red Sox should and probably will still make the playoffs. They're good enough to make the playoffs. They shouldn't blow a 6-game lead in 22 games. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that, Tony.
Okay, so how would you manage Crochet? What would you do?
I'm building in off days. I know, like, kind of what you had to do with Chris Sale in 2018, only you were dealing with an injury there, whereas I think you're dealing with fatigue with Crochet. To your point earlier, it's... Yeah, I mean, he's past his innings total, but he's outpacing everyone else in the league. It's not just, he passed the innings total from his career high or last year, and he was a reliever before this. He's throwing more innings than anyone else in the sport. So, yeah, like if you have to throw, like, what's the worst that's going to happen if you have to throw in an extra rest day for Garrett Crochet? It's like, okay, we have a game 1 starter, a Cy Young contender who's getting some extra rest days down the stretch here. What's the worst that's going to happen? Someone like Felger is going to say that he's a wuss for needing rest days? Whoop-de-doo. Doesn't matter to me. I would rather have him rested and ready to go for the postseason, because if you don't win the division, it's 2 games. Like, if you want to move on to the division series and you want to have a chance to see Skubal versus Crochet in the division series, you're going to need not just a healthy Crochet, you're going to need a somewhat rested, even if it's like 75% Crochet, you're going to need that guy.
Would you think about skipping him?
I don't know that he would want that. I think it's just, they've been giving him extra days here and there, and it's worked to this point. I think it's been the last month or so that he's been on regular rest, but for a good chunk of the middle of the season, they were just throwing in an extra rest day, and it was working. I think by that point, though, you needed him every 5th day to go out there and make starts for you, because you were trying to get into a playoff spot. Not that they've clinched one, but they're in a healthy spot. I think that you can build in some rest days for him, because we were having this conversation at Fenway on Friday. Jimmy Stewart was there. That and I think the answer kind of feels different now, but who's the one guy that if they went down, you'd be like, oh, we're done? And Crochet was the most popular answer. Now that we're looking at Roman Anthony being gone for the rest of the regular season, at least, it feels like that answer is appropriate as well. But you need Garrett Crochet. Like yes, Bayo's been very good. Yes, Giolito's been very good. But without Crochet being Crochet, it's just nice to have that guy where it's like, okay, when I know that his name is up on the probable starters, we not only have a chance to win, like we're probably going to win today.
In your mind, is there any reason to look back and second guess the way they've handled him during the season? You just said a second ago, he's thrown more innings than anybody else in the league. Should they have cut back on that?
No, only because I think if you go start by start watching his outings, there's not going to be very many stressful innings. Like they're just like, he's a max effort guy. He's a high velocity guy, gets a lot of swing and miss. Like even though he's given up a lot of home runs, like, if you look at start by start going back to whatever it was, June 30th against the Reds, yeah, he's given up more homers than anyone else on the staff, but it's still like 7 strikeouts here, 9 strikeouts there. Like he's still punching guys out. But if you watch the innings, if you watch the games, he's not out there, oh man, it took 35 pitches to get out of the 4th.
Not laboring. Like
he'll go 7 innings, but it's 99 pitches. It's 102 pitches. It's the amount of pitches that you would expect to see from anyone else on the staff giving you 6 innings. He can give you 7 or 8 with the same amount of pitches because they're not as stressful for him.
So, and I asked you that question, but it's not, as to whether or not we can look back and wonder if they've mismanaged him. And I don't think so either. I don't think they've mismanaged him. So I was just looking it up, Jared. He has made 28 starts this year. Mm-hmm. Okay? He's made every turn. 28 starts. How many of those, just a quick guess, of those 28, how many of those do you think he's made on a regular 4 days of rest?
Of the 28, 15?
9.
Oh.
Okay, 9. I was surprised by that, too. The point being that in 19 of his 28 starts, he's had at least 5 days of rest. There are 3 that he's had 6 days. Okay, so 16 of his starts, more than half of his starts, he's had 5 days, and 3 others he's had 6. So this is part of the reason I wonder if maybe they can talk him into just skipping one.
Sure.
And, give him a 10-day break, because my point is this, they've given him all this rest, and it's still caught up with him. So, and look, this goes back to just his career. He's a big guy. I don't think they've really overworked him per se, although in this day and age, maybe. But again, what are you going to do? Skip turns during the middle of the year? They gave him a big rest at the All-Star break. That didn't work. It's still caught up to him because he's never done this before.
I'd argue it did work because he still pitched well coming on the break.
So that's a fair way to look at it. I'm just saying it caught up to him at the end. He wasn't able to get through the whole year without some sign of fatigue. And look, most pitchers don't. You like to think he's built a little differently. I'd skip a turn. I would. I'd give him 10 days off.
I agree with some of what you said, but I disagree with some of what you said because we're talking about one start. I mean, this guy has been so good that when he has one start that looks really ugly, the conversation becomes, did we mishandle him? Like, is he out of gas? It's one bad start. That just goes to show how good he's been this year, where prior to last night's outing, it was, where's he going to finish, 1 or 2? Like, you can make the case for 1 or 2. Now, I mean, like, one bad start this late in the year, that might cost you 1. Now it might be a Cy Young runner-up situation, which, like, whoop-de-doo. Like, being the second-best pitcher in the league, pretty awesome season to have. But I think when to your point about the rest days, it's hard when you're going out there 7 innings, 9 strikeouts, 1 earned run, 1 walk, being like, hey, we need you to take some extra rest. If I'm Garrett Crochet, I'm saying, I feel just fine. The results are great. Why are we taking extra rest days? If you go to him and say, hey, you just gave up 4 bombs and we needed to score 11 runs to win that game and we needed all 11 to do it, that's when you probably ease into a conversation saying, you're seeing it, we're seeing it. It's not a cause for concern yet. It's only 1 outing. Can we build some rest days in for you? Because
let's
we need
nip
you
it in the bud.
Yeah, let's get out in front of it.
Get ahead of it. Yep. Absolutely. I'll tell you what, we got a lot of people on the phone. Let me take one call now. We'll try to get to everybody else during the course of the hour. Barney's in Brockton. Barney, go ahead.
Hey, Maz. So going forward with the pitching, I'm not really worried about Crochet. I think Toli can be a factor. And I think it's for one of the reasons you bring up jokingly, regularly is, look back at guys like Clemens, Lester, even Beckett when he was here, like fat asses. Like those guys can just they're hosses. They can throw it. You know what I mean? Like it's not
Barney, I get it. Believe me, I get it. And
Maz's big time fat ass guy.
Yeah, it's huge for a pitcher.
Yeah, going back to 2013, I remember you talking about Lester's fat ass.
Yes, the fatter the ass, the better. It's usually a sign of power.
Mass equals gas, Tony.
Yeah, now look, again, I don't know that you want Jabba the Hutt out there spinning it on the mound.
David Wells, great career.
But yeah, and he had a good delivery too. Didn't break down a lot.
Yeah.
But look, Toli's a different discussion because, and you say you got Toli to back him up. The only thing I would add is that they're clearly being careful with Toli, and we'll get to him later in the show. And they should be. I'm not telling you they shouldn't be, but we'll get to him later in the show because Jared was downright prophetic a week ago in talking about Payton Toli. So we'll do that as well. Don't go anywhere. Lots to catch up on in the baseball hour and plenty of you on the line. So we'll get to your calls when we come back.
baseball savant, Tony Maz, and the Baseball Hour on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Given that it's September now, you guys had lost Anthony at that point. Garrett start, finished great. And then you guys come back and win. Does it feel like one of the bigger wins of the year in here?
I don't know. I feel like we're kind of in that September mode right now of where like it's next pitch mentality of just execute the next pitch of the next play of the next game, and obviously losing Roman today is a gut punch. Obviously one of the best players in all of baseball, but we got to continue to push along, and nobody needs to try and do more. No one needs to try and do more than they're capable of. They just need to try and execute their game plan the same way that we've been talking about all year long, and continue to find ways to win, whether it's high-scoring games, pitching and playing good defense, stealing a big base, moving a guy over. We're I think 2.5 back or something, and it's meaningful games in September, and all that matters is winning. So I think the guys in here have the right mentality. Obviously today was a bit of a gut punch for us, but everyone in here is mature enough to know to show up tomorrow ready to execute and compete, and continue to do that for the rest of the month and into the postseason.
Roman Anthony, obviously a big blow to the Red Sox. And I say this definitively when the reality is we don't even know that. It said 4 to 6 weeks, which we presume means he will not play for the balance of the regular season. 22 games to go. Season ends a week from Sunday. September 28th is the last day of the regular season. So you got 3.5 weeks to go. I mean, is it possible he plays again in 3.5 weeks? Anything's possible, but it certainly seems like the Red Sox aren't banking on it, and I doubt with a player of that caliber, and when I say that, as much as they have invested in him for their future, that they would rush him.
Cora said something about like visualize game 1 of the ALCS to Roman.
Right. Again, which is, I think September 12th is what I said.
October 12th.
October 12th. I'm sorry. October 12th. So you're looking at, 6 weeks. I mean, that's 6 weeks. So pretty damn close. And I think that that's a realistic goal. To me, 4 weeks feels a little quick for that kind of injury, particularly if it's grade 2, which is what they're saying. If it's grade 1, it could be faster, but that didn't look like grade 1 last night. Dean in Shrewsbury kicks us off tonight. Again, phone lines are open. We have a couple of open lines, but Dean, what do you got?
I think the Crochet is slowing down, but I wouldn't skip him in the rotation because we're only 2.5 games out of the division, and as long as you're still in the division, if we can overtake Toronto, then he gets his rest anyways because we're skipping the wild card series. So I don't think you can take the chance that you give up the division and possibly home field advantage just to rest Crochet. I think your best opportunity to win is to continue to pitch him.
So, Dean, this is one of the reasons why I think it's going to be interesting to see how the Red Sox handle this, and Jared, for that matter. You look at it and you say, okay, well, you're 2.5 out of the division. You get a sizable lead in the wild card race, so you're not really at risk at the moment of missing the playoffs. But you have a chance to be the top wild card seed and get home field. You also have the chance to get the division and potentially have a bye, which is best case scenario. So I sort of look at that, Jared, and say, if you're the Red Sox, what do you do? And I think in the short term, it's easy. You say, well, just keep playing. And if you're in a position to go for the division, you go for it. Crochet's turn won't come up again until they're in Sacramento to play the A's. So you've got, at least 4 more games between now and then. Really, for Crochet's purposes, it'll be 5 because I don't think he's going to pitch before Tuesday, September 9th. So what do you do? You tell me. What do you do?
I'm mixing in some rest days. I think that to Dean's point, I get that the division is important, and you would get your rest days. If you were able to overtake Toronto and you're a first place team, you don't have to play in that wild card series. But at the end of the day, I would rather get the rest days now, just because I've been saying it all along. I want to play in the wild card. Like I don't want to have the team take the days off. Maybe
do you still feel the same way now with all the injuries?
That's what I was going to say, is like maybe I have to revisit that take now that Roman's hurt and Crochet has shown signs of slowing down.
Abreu's out.
Yeah, and it doesn't sound like he's progressing very quickly, and I think that they probably thought that he'd be back by now, and he's not, and I guess it's for him, it's running that's holding him up. But yeah, it's a tough call. I think you can't go anywhere, certainly if you don't have Roman, but if you don't have Crochet either, it's pack it up. You know what I mean? Like that's just, you need one of those guys to at least be healthy. So if you can do something to get Crochet back to being Crochet, I feel like you have to do it.
So if I were them, I would live day to day until his next turn, and then a couple of days before his turn, you'll have 4 or 5 days in there. Decide what you want to do. You don't have to decide until that point. You don't want to decide on the day of his start. He needs to know the night before at a minimum. Ideally, you want to give him a couple of days notice. But I would sort of, the point is they got to decide, are we going to play for a wild card or are we going to play for the division? At some point, they're going to have to choose because it's going to affect how they manage their team down the stretch. And they have time for that. I'm not telling you that has to be decided next week.
That 3-game series in Toronto looms large now. It's the 23rd, 4th, and 5th. In Toronto.
So by then, I think they're going to have to know. They're going to have to know by then one way or the other. And a lot of that's going to be decided by how they play, at Arizona, at the A's. I almost wanted to say Oakland, but they're going to have to sort of see how it goes and ultimately make a choice. Joe's in Lincoln. Joe, what do you got?
Two things. Well, first of all, I think without Anthony and they need to think about just getting in the playoffs. Forget about trying to get the division right now. But on the other hand, the thing about this team that I've loved is just how resilient they're. Whenever something seems to happen that you think they're going to collapse, they don't. So I do think they're going to have a short-term rebound from the Anthony injury. But let's not get too greedy now. The time for being greedy was earlier, not now. Just make the playoffs and see what happens.
So, Joe, I think a lot of people would immediately defer to that. Right? Like you would say, don't get ridiculous. Just get in and then take your chances. Mm-hmm. What if you win 5 in a row? What if you win 5 in a row with, Toli's pitching Friday night, you win the bullpen game tonight, you go to Arizona and you clean up on them, and then all of a sudden Crochet's turn's coming up and you're tied for first place. I wouldn't rule it out if I were them yet. This is all I'm getting at, Jared. Why rule it out? Because if you can get it, let's just say it falls into your lap and you play decent and you hit and you get on some kind of roll and all of a sudden you start beating teams up and the pitchers can come out of the game after 6 innings, 5 innings, whatever, you get them out of there. Now you'll get that layoff during the wild card series, which is basically like another 4 or 5 days off. You got a good little break there. Get your team healthy and come out ready to go for the division series. So I wouldn't eliminate it if I were them. I disagree with Joe. You don't have to pull the plug on it now. Don't. I don't know whether you feel the same way.
I think you just play the games. I think it's not the way that I'm sure if there were folks inside the clubhouse listening to this conversation, they would be like, you think we can just choose to win the wild card of the division? Like, we're going out there every night trying to win a baseball game. I think what it comes down to more, the point that we're trying to make is, do you rest Crochet or do you not? Do you try and win the division, play the games, and then try and get the rest leading up to the division series, or do you build in rest days? I think in building in rest days, that helps you win the division because you're not going to go out there and say, hey, Crochet, I know you got 40% for me in the tank tonight. Go out there and give up 4 bombs and 7 earned, but it's not football. You can't put like when Gronk was hurt and you just put him out there as a decoy. Like, you can't do that with starting pitchers. Either you're going to go out there and be effective or you're not. And I think in watching Crochet last night, it was just very unlike him to leave so many pitches out of the middle of the plate and
thigh high too.
That has to be fatigue. You build in the rest days, or else if you're trying to say, no, just have him go out there and pitch as is, now he might cost you the division. Now you have no rest and no division. So, yeah, I'm still building in the rest days.
So it's a good way to look at it, Jared, in all seriousness. I don't mean to give you credit for something.
Thank you.
But your point is just build in rest along the way, get the best out of them while you can, and then in the same breath, maybe you win the division. And he helps you do it because he's rested for those games, and then you get the best of both worlds. So, Kevin Maggiorio will get you caught up on headlines here. Don't go anywhere. And when we come back, somebody on this program, on the Baseball Hour, a week ago almost predicted the Payton Toli debut to a T. And we'll remind you of exactly what he said when we...
Sports Hub.
I've got my eyes on one guy, and that guy, his name is Payton Toli. And if he comes up here, and everyone that you've talked to down there that actually watches every single start and their job is to evaluate these players, his fastball is going to play at the big league level. So is he going to be asked to be the ace of the staff? No. Is he going to be asked to be a 2 or 3? No. So if he can slot right in there in that game 4 starter spot where it's like in a best of 7 series, he's just got to go out there and give you a chance to win one game, I think he can do it. I think he can give you quality innings down the stretch here. They've been managing his innings. He's only going averaging 60 pitches. He's around there to kind of save some for the Sox in September and potentially October. But yeah, that's the name I'm looking at.
I mean, you just dropped Payton Toli on me as a candidate to come up and start.
Yeah.
In the final month of the season.
Yep.
And there's been speculation that Toli's going to come up and pitch. I presumed it was going to be out of the bullpen, but you're saying it could be something bigger than that.
Sure. I mean,
and is that what you believe, or do you is that informed? Just drop him in, and he's been throwing 60 pitches, and I heard that, and I said he means 4 or 5 innings, maybe 4. So they're going to view him as almost like a bulk guy, except he's going to start the game, and I'll give him 4 innings, which is why I was a little surprised, Jared, last week that Cora sent him out for the 6th.
Me too.
I was
surprised he came out for the 5th.
Well, so I wasn't sure he was even going to do that, but once he did, I went, "Oh wow, they're going to let him go 5. He's cruising, so fine, no problem." And then they brought him out for the 5th and the 6th. So, but I think you nailed how they're going to use him. And as it turns out, and most people know this already, I'll just say this quickly before we get back to the phones. Toli's going to pitch again Friday night. So the Red Sox are off tomorrow. So he'll have basically a week between outings, 6 days off. Pitches Friday, sits 6, pitches the next Friday. Would not surprise me if they keep him on something similar to that.
Sure.
And basically just plug him in and give him all the rest he needs and make sure that he's fully recovered. And they have the pitching. Even if Crochet is like he was last night, you're not going to beat good teams doing that, but he'll beat bad teams. They're going to get in. They're going to make the playoffs. And if they can somehow get into a better spot, and we've been discussing this for those of you out there, if somehow the division falls into your lap and you get 4 days off, 5 days off, you're off Monday through Friday and open the division series on Saturday, I mean, that is gold. And you wouldn't be that far back from an Anthony return at that stage. You'll be 4 weeks into the injury.
You know what I think is going to suck, Tony?
Go ahead.
I could see the Jays falling off. Not falling off, but falling below the Red Sox.
Not the Yankees?
The Yankees have such a cookie-cutter schedule down the stretch here where, they're just going up there and beating up, the Nats and the White Sox. They're stat padding out there. They look like world beaters, but then they go up against a team like the Red Sox, and it's this team's never played baseball before. But that's what I could see happening. If I wouldn't put money on it, but would it shock me if the Yankees won the division, the Red Sox were second, and the Blue Jays finished third? That wouldn't surprise me. Their closer, Hoffman, he's been giving it up left and right. They've gotten a huge year out of George Springer. He's 36 years old. That came out of nowhere. Bo Bichette's been good. But, yeah, they just gave it up to the Reds the other day.
Twins last week.
Right, and the Twins are awful. They are awful. I think they just had their lowest home attendance for a game since Target Field opened the other day. But, yeah, I think it wouldn't totally surprise me if in September we saw some shifting, but that it was the Yankees who ended up just marginally, because they still have a series against the Red Sox. And I remember, Tony, when I was talking about, the Red Sox still have 7 games against the Yankees, I was like, that's a bunch of easy wins. And you're like, oh, okay. No, those are a bunch of easy wins. They will remain to be a bunch of easy wins. They have that next weekend. We go to Arizona this weekend. The Yankees come here, Fenway Park, for a 3-game set the weekend after that. That's 3 easy wins, Tony.
I mean, you just rack them up, Jared. You don't even have to show up and win those games.
I've been right.
They should just concede them.
You've just been too early.
That's right.
We got a lot of people on the phone, so here's what I'm going to ask you just quickly, if you could. Try to be succinct. Not you, Jared, them.
Okay.
Try to be succinct, get to your point. We'll get as many as you in here over the final 10, 15 minutes of the show as we can. Craig is in Nevada. Craig, what do you got?
Hey, Tony. Hey, I think while I've been on hold, I've gone through the 5 stages of grief regarding Roman. My thing is now is what's Cora going to do? We need Cora to basically take the team over and show us what he's made of here in this last little final stretch. Because the Red Sox, for the last 4 years, have given us nothing to root for. And now we finally got something, and we get a little punch in the gut, like what happened last night. But the riding high last Friday with Payton Toli.
All right, Craig, I'm going to let you go because we'll get to Toli here momentarily. We've already talked about Toli.
Yeah.
But I'm asking people to be succinct. So they still have enough artillery. If they can get Abreu back and Nathaniel Lowe can get hot for a week or two, they still have enough from the left side of the lineup to get some run production there. Like this idea, we had a caller earlier today, Jared, that said, geez, with Anthony out, they should really just shut down Crochet and call it a year. No freaking way. No way. You're in. You're up 6 over the Royals. The Royals aren't going to catch you. You're in the playoffs. So now it's about managing your team to get you in the best possible spot for the playoffs. Do you give any thought to like packing it in and going home?
No. To Felger's point, which is shocking that I agree with him, I just want the experience. At
a minimum.
I do see the path, and I've been saying it. I see the path to a World Series because the American League is weak this year, and I think that you can take advantage of that, and I do believe the Red Sox can get to the World Series this year. But without Roman, it's going to be tough. Changes the entire dynamic of the team, but I've been saying it for the last 3 years sitting next to you. In the years where it was like, all right, disappointing trade deadline, they're 500, they're in a playoff spot or flirting with one, entering August, mid-August, and then September they fall apart, whatever. I just wanted to get in to get the younger guys the experience. Now, I do think because of how well Bayo, Giolito, and Crochet have pitched, and you have Chapman in God mode as your closer, and the offense has been certainly good enough, it's like, yeah, okay. Like, I could see them doing some damage in October. Now, without Roman, it's like people comparing them to the 21 Atlanta Braves, where it's like that team won the World Series without Acuna. And it's like different team, a little bit of a different team. But I it's not a throw in the towel, give up type.
No, listen, the goal for them now should be to get to the LCS, get Roman Anthony some meaningful games, let him get in there and play. That should be the goal. Mike is in South Boston. Mike, what do you got?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so all I'm saying is I think Romy Gonzalez should be second base every single god darn day. And you get Tadon in center. I think that this team has enough to continue to catch the division.
Mike, just quickly, why do you say Gonzalez is second base? Give me a 15-word answer.
He crushes left-hand pitching.
Okay.
He has crushed.
Okay, yeah. So listen, again, he won his bat in there against lefties. That still doesn't answer the second base part of it. Do you like him at second base, Jared, or do you like him somewhere else?
I like him wherever. If there's a lefty on the mound, I want him at first base. I want him at second base. I just want him in there. And he has hit righties as well, especially recently. So, like the Roman injury, it just changes the entire look of the team. And thank God they didn't flip a Duran or a Willier at the trade deadline, because now Willier's hurt. It's like, well, he's going to come back at some point, but yeah, they need all hands on deck at this point. You just lost your best player.
Danny's in a car says he wants to apologize to Trevor Story. Go ahead, Danny.
Tony, as a junior card-carrying superfan, Jared, I don't think it's too early for me to apologize to Mr. Trevor Story.
Too late.
It's phenomenal. Yeah, is it too late? Well, let me tell you, I just want to make I want to make the apology. And we're talking about a guy who I had said to Tony a few months ago, listen, I don't care. Eat the contract, get rid of him, put Meyer at shortstop, and it just goes to show somebody like me who's been following for a long time, 162. And I'd like to hang up and listen to both of your comments.
So no problem. Look, again, I owe Trevor Story an apology, too.
Everybody does. Who wasn't calling for his DFA back in May? It was like a 210 average. It was borderline like a high 500s OPS. It was not good. The defense lacked, but he has completely turned his season around. He's been everything that they thought that they were getting when they originally signed him.
Really amazing turnaround. Talk about a guy saving his career. And quickly, I didn't know this, Jared. You probably did. He's now 25 of 25 in steals, right? He hasn't been caught yet?
He has not been caught yet.
So did you know that there's actually a major league record for this?
No.
So I think based on an email I got, and I don't know this, so maybe I'm talking on my ass. Wouldn't be the first time. But Trey Turner apparently a couple of years ago went 30 for 30 and was the only guy in history to ever get to 30 steals and finish the season without being caught. Huh. So if Trevor Story can get to 31 for 31, it's a major league record.
Interesting. I did not know that.
I think I'll double check it tomorrow. It's probably wrong now that I've said it, but
I'll believe it.
But you get the idea.
And the bases.
Steve in Fall River. Steve, what do you got?
I never heard of Payton Toli till I heard the...
Steve, just quickly, before you even go on, because it says you want to talk about Roman Anthony, I'm asking you, be succinct. Be quick. There's other people who want to get on. Go ahead.
There's 3 players on the team that are irreplaceable. Crochet, Chapman, and Trevor Story. At the present time, one of those guys goes, they have no replacement. Now, you have to apologize to me also, Tony, for Trevor Story, because you've been abusing the guy for 2 years.
Actually, closer to 4.
Come on, Tony. I want to hear it.
So I don't understand why I have to apologize to you for Trevor Story. I just apologized to Trevor Story. I'm not going to apologize to you.
Trevor Story. Got to apologize to him.
Exactly. So he's had a good year. Story's had a good year. Up until the last couple of months, I would have said his year was, he had that one hot month and that the rest of it wasn't very good. But since then, his last couple of months have been better. And I love it when he hits the ball to the opposite field.
He's been really good.
He had another hit to the opposite field last night. To me, a guy like him, if he was just willing to take the pitch the other way and do it consistently over the course of a full season, he could hit 290.
I love when he flips his bat on base hits, too. I just love a good bat flip. He's got a great one.
Frank in Boston. What do you got, Frank?
You feel a lot better about the Sox' ability to cope with Anthony's injury if they added a bat at the deadline or not salary dump Devers, who they were then supposed to replace in some form with a bat. Since the break, the Sox offense with Anthony hitting well has been dead average, according to the nerd stats. Just quickly on the pitching, 42-year-old Justin Verlander just hucked 121 pitches in 5 innings. They don't build them like they used to. If any load management results in Giolito losing innings, I wonder how he's going to feel about that one.
Okay, Frank, don't hang up. Hold on, Jared. Go ahead. What?
So, Frank, to your point about not adding a bat at the deadline, do you give the Red Sox credit because at the time, the cost for Nathaniel Lowe was Payton Toli. The Red Sox waited and got him off waiver. Actually, not even off waiver. They just got him for free. They got him for nothing. Do you not give the Red Sox credit for waiting and getting Lowe as the bat? Because he's been awesome.
Hope is not a plan. That was dumb luck. It's not sustainable. They still should have added a bat.
But they got a bat.
More bats. You'd have more bats if they added a bat.
Where else does the bat go? They needed to. It was either catcher or it was going to be first base, and they added Nathaniel Lowe, who statistically has been the second best hitter on the team since he got here to Roman Anthony. So now that Roman Anthony's not here, he's been your best hitter.
Lowe's helped him.
Yeah. Low Vaughn, they're calling him, Tony.
Well, and he's had some big hits, too. If you remember, he had the 2-run homer in the 3-1 game.
Against the Yankees.
Yeah, he had the 2-run homer to tie that game, and then they blew it. Then he had a double against the Yankees, which was a big hit in that game. He's had some big hits, too, so it hasn't just been, a piling on and blowouts. And he had a home run last night, obviously, too. I'm just telling you that they've been bigger than just a home run in the middle of the game.
No doubt.
So he's had some big ones. Jared, as always, pleasure to have you.
Tony, it's good to see you.
Jimmy, he sounds so sincere when he says that, doesn't he?
I know legitimately he is, though.
I am.
So, are you with us next week? As
Sure,
far
why
as you
not?
know?
Yeah, why not? Where would I be?
Because
Jared's
honestly,
with us throughout the playoffs until the Red Sox are eliminated, Tony.
Yeah.
Jared,
2 weeks from now on, I believe it's Wednesday, is Section 10 night at Fenway Park, so I'm going to have to do a Tuesday spot for that week. But, yeah, 2 weeks from now? Section 10 night at Fenway Park.
So I'll tell you, in the last couple of months, I've done a couple of audio production pieces for the show for Felger and Maz that we've used, including a couple of off of Payton Toli's game on Friday night. And Felger has now made the point of saying, "Oh, you're feeling it," and I am.
Yeah.
When's the last time the Red Sox were in a legit playoff race in the month of September?
It's been a minute.
2021.
Correct.
It's been 4 effing years.
Well, the Nesson ratings got tweeted out, and it's like, they're up 150-something%. The biggest increase since when? 2021.
Oh,
What's
geez,
the correlation, Tony?
Winning?
And having me on the air. But,
winning?
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
No, that's not true because you've been on the air the last 3 years and the ratings have sucked. The team ratings. Ours have actually been pretty good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jared.
Kevin Majori's going to have your headlines here, all the latest, the updates from Foxborough as the Patriots prepare for their season opener on Sunday. Our thanks to Jared. We'll catch you tomorrow.
You're listening to the Baseball Hour with Tony Maz.
Now is the time to go solar. Tax credits are set to expire in 2025. Don't wait and miss out. Reach out to the top-class solar experts at Boston Solar today at 617-858-1645.
Landscape and property management pros. The mowing season is